Sword Rider, Transformers reviews and toy related chat. Sword Rider, Sword Rider.
I have noticed in this video that there is a little bit of background noise going on, so I apologise about that in advance if you're watching this video. I hope it doesn't detract away from that. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Hello everyone, it's Sword Rider here. Happy New Year to everyone. And as I said in my last video, which was on my top 10 Transformers of 2017, I'm going to do my top 5 KOs and top 5 third-party figures. But before I get into that, I want to give you a top 5 of the other stuff other than Transformers I've been picking up this year. So I have cheated a little bit. In at number 5 is, well, just a couple of Star Wars figures I picked up. One from Rogue One, K2SO I think his name is, and one from The Force Awakens. What's his name? Kylo Ren figure. Pretty cool. I haven't bought any Star Wars figures in a long time. I really like Kylo Ren. I only really bought it because I think that lightsaber's wicked. And I picked up K2SO because I actually really liked his character in Rogue One. Done a little bit of customising, a little bit of dry brushing on there just to make him look a little bit different. And his leg was a little bit bent as well, so I straightened that with some hot water. So yeah, so at number 5, a couple of cheap £3 Star Wars figures. And number 4 was a toy that I always wanted when I was younger, and I picked it up early this year. It is Lieutenant Ripley from Alien in, I forgot what this is called. Walker? Not exosuit. Power loader, that's it. So I picked up this, didn't cost me a lot. Missing the missile, but it's still a pretty cool thing to have, so I'm really happy I have her. And then in at number 3, a couple of gifts that I actually got for Christmas. Again, similar to the Star Wars, they're from the same line, but I wanted to give them both a shout out because I couldn't choose which one I prefer because they're both brilliant for different ways, and they've both been bought by good friends. So Condor, which was bought for me by James, Soundwave 1980, amazing figure in such good condition, and Raven, that was bought to me by Junk Heap Dave, complete with the dude inside, and his name escapes me right now. But yeah, got a fair few little m.a.s.k figures now, so I'm really over the moon with them. They were at number 3. At number 2, the Auric San Diego Comic Con, get me words out, exclusive figure from the set. I picked it up for 25 quid from Kapow Toys. It would be higher up, but those hands are awful, really bad. So, but it's still cool to have a representation of a Visionaries figure after so long, even though some of the parts that are stolen from other G.I. Joe figures don't quite work that well, and the articulation isn't quite there. But you know what? Great little figure. And finally, the best non-Transformer related toy I picked up this year was Thunderhawk, complete with map tracker. I picked this up for next to nothing, about £12. It's got the seat belts inside, it's got one of the rockets underneath. The tyres were a bit battered, but I've used some tyres off a battered alternator that I had. So first of all, I'm going to call out a couple of third-party disappointments. Now the first thing I'm going to mention, I absolutely hated when I opened it. I was looking for this figure for a long time, and when it arrived and I opened it, I absolutely hated it. Now, since then, I've come to realise that this is a test shot, and some of the things that I hate about it, like different coloured plastic and so on and so forth, don't upset me as much. And after trying to sell him on, I've decided to keep him. So it's DX9 Dewalt, or Dewalt. Yeah, he's a bit big, transformation's fiddly, I've got lots of stress marks on there, but he's never going to be transformed again, he's just going to sit on the shelf, so he's not bad, but it was a bit of a disappointment. If I paid more than the 75 quid that I actually paid for him, then I'll be really upset. Now, this guy I did spend 80 quid on, and I'd heard lots and lots of things about, and there's nothing necessarily up with him, it's just, compared to some of the other MMC figures that are on my top 5 list, he doesn't wow me, and that's Spartan or Impactor. Am I happy I got him? Yes, I am, because he's sitting on my record shelf and he's looking pretty cool. But did he wow me? Was he £80 worth of figure? Probably not, if I'm honest. So it was a little bit disappointing with him. So let's get on to the third party now. And at number 5, a robot that I picked up from TFN. It is Fans Hobby Gunfighter. There we are. A cool representation of G2 Optimus Prime. Hefty, chunky, easy to transform. Everything that I like in a Transformer. So yeah, he's a cool figure. I have fallen out of love a little bit from getting him at TFN because he was quite a lot of money, but he still looks really great on the shelf. So Gunfighter is at number 5. Alright. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to go for Calidus, m.a.s.k, their version of Rodimus Prime from the Lost Light. Cool figure, built really well. I really like it. Alt mode isn't the best, but I think that goes with all of these figures, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of the alt mode on most of them. But it's a really cool toy. I was tempted to get the special edition one at TFM, but decided against it. So Calidus is at number 4. Number 3. Yeah, number 3. I haven't actually got him out, but I've got a different colour version of him. So it's going to be Hot Soldiers Soundwave or Sound Blaster. They're both the same toy, to be honest. In fact, I really like the pink on here, but Soundwave is one of my favourite Transformers characters. I can't find him. He's packed away in one of the boxes up in the loft, so I'm not quite sure where he is. But for the price point, these are absolutely fantastic. Unique mould. I don't believe they're a knockoff, so I apologise if they are. But for 15 quid, amazing toy. And you get Ratbat with this one. You get Ratbat and Buzzsaw with this one. You get Laserbeak with Soundwave. So he's a really cool figure. I've transformed him back and forth loads of times, and he's been sitting on my desk all year. So there you go. Soundboard, I think it is, but they're Hot Toys version of Soundwave or Sound Blaster. So in at number 2, another MMC figure. It is their version of IDW Megatron. I forgot his name. I'm looking on the floor at it. Tyrannotron, something like that. He actually comes with 2 versions. He comes from like the version with a drill before he was a leader of the Decepticons, and he comes in this deco as well. Alt mode is pretty awful, but he hasn't got an alt mode in the comics. I don't believe he's actually transformed. So it was a bit of a guess to what his alt mode would be, but he's a cool figure. I actually picked up mine second hand, so I got him a little bit cheaper. Nothing wrong with him whatsoever. Yeah, so number 2. Then in at number 1, MMC's Tarn. Probably one of the best figures I own. I know that I've gone off third party a little bit of late. But this is exactly what third party should be to me. It's fun. There's no die cast for the sake of die cast. There's beautiful colours, simple transformation. It's got the soul of a Transformer, which some of the other third party figures, and I keep going on about bloody what's his face, their Preceptor, not having a soul, but this guy actually has got a soul, and it's really cool. I've changed his face out. Spoiler alert. I think, is it Glyph? I'm not quite sure. So he comes with a roller one originally, but you get a different head with Megatron, so I've swapped that over now. Bit of a pain to actually do it. So yeah, Tarn is my number 1 third party figure I picked up this year. And if I'm completely honest with you, the best toy I picked up this year as well. So a couple of, again, disappointments with some KOs I picked up this year. I want to speak about Lacey, the Weijang version of RC, which I've sold on there. Just a bit tap, really. The face was awful. Compared to the Generations figure, the official was so much better. And I'm going to say the same with this guy as well. It's a knockoff of Coppola. It's fine. It's okay. Looks good on the shelf. But I think the problem with knockoffs of third-party figures is that they're still as complex and they're still as annoying at times. And I think it's not a problem with this toy. I think it's the with a knockoff because it's a good knockoff and it's improved the feet and all that kind of stuff. But I just don't think I'm a fan of the actual figure itself, the original one, which is a shame, really. I mean, it looks great, but yeah, he didn't make the top list. But let's talk about one figure that did. And in at number 5 is a Weijang oversized version of the Last Night Voyager Megatron. Now, for those of you who watch my top 10 Transformers of the year, spoiler alert here, is that Voyager figure finished number 1. Amazing toy. This has given us some improvements. It's put some panels on covering up the wrists. You've got a bit of wrist swivel here. Die casting the feet. It could have been so much more though. This was rushed out, and actually you were able to get this online cheaper than the official one before the official one even hit the UK stores, which is crazy. Mine has a few issues with it. The cockpit isn't painted. The cockpit actually pops off all the while during transformation as well. And when I ordered it, I ordered one of these sort with a red on the top, but apparently that was one of the earlier versions of it. I had a little bit of problem ordering this because I ordered it from AliExpress. Didn't turn up after about 4 or 5 weeks, so I got a refund. Excuse my son in the background playing with his Fireman Sam stuff, and I ended up getting one off TF Direct. So yeah, in at number 5. The problem is with him, he's too big. He doesn't scale with anything else. He's sitting on my desk at the back by my lamp, and he looks really cool and really imposing, but he scales with nothing else. And I know people are saying, well, he'll scale well with the Weijang Evasion Mode Optimus Prime, but unfortunately, they're from different films, and you will never see those two versions together on screen, so I don't think they work very well together. But anyway, number 5 was the oversized Last Night Voyager Megatron. Number 4, a present given to me by the Collector 75. It is knockoff Voyager class Hound. I haven't got the original figure. I did want the original figure because I hadn't got a Hound. And the Collector 75, Graham, offered me this for nothing, which was really nice of him. So I thought, great, I've got a version of him now, and he's actually got better paint apps than the original one. I don't know if you've seen Mr. Wellness's video of his pickups of December, but you can kind of tell on his video that some of these paint apps aren't there on his figure. I haven't actually seen the original version in the store still. Not tell a lie, I think I saw one once, but I didn't have time to pick it up and have a look, and definitely not been able to have a look at him side by side. But it's a cool representation. I like the figure anyway, and I know there's an oversized version, but I'm happy with this dude. So in at number 3 is m.a.s.k Fans Toys, their version of Galvatron. I believe this is slightly oversized and a knockoff of the DX9 mini figure that they released. It's fun. It's cool. It's got a little matrix on there. It does transform into a cannon relatively easily. And again, he's just been sitting on my desk for a long while, even at my old house, and I've been mucking about with him and putting him in poses and riding him on the back of squeaks and all of that stuff. So he's cool. He's fun. He was cheap. He was less than a tenner, I think, and loads of fun. And I've just dropped something on the floor, so we'll just let that go. It was Lego. Of all the things that could have dropped on the floor, bloody Lego, so that's in a million pieces now. That's great. Should we go on to number 2? I think it's probably best we go on to number 2. So at number 2 is, don't know if you can see him there, but oversized Jinbao Bruticus. Amazing toy. When I actually took him out of storage when I moved into this house, just the presence of him when I put him back together and the sheer size of him, I forgot how big he was, how great he was. And I had so much fun with him. For those of you who don't know, me and the Robot Wankers did a review of Bruticus back in February, and that's actually been my best performing video, over 2,000 views, which is great as well, which is another reason why it's number 2 on the list. I had a lot of fun with it. It's a great toy. I did have the Machine Boy versions in funny colours first, apart from Onslaught. I sold them on, I got those guys, and I haven't looked back. And probably my most expensive knockoff today. I think it cost me about 90 quid. which is a lot of money really, but then again for 5 robots that combine, you can't really grumble at that. So at number 2 was Jimbo Bruticus. And at number 1 is a figure that I didn't think I would get, and I only ordered it for a reason. So I'll go into those details. I bought the Wajang RC from someone on AliExpress, the seller that I'd used before. When she arrived, the leg was broken. So I had a word with the guy on there, and actually, according to the rules on AliExpress, you need to return the item at your own cost, which was a little bit rubbish. But the guy on there said, "Oh, I'll tell you what, if you order something else from me, I'll stick the part in that you need." So I looked down at the cheapest thing I could find, because I thought it's going to cost me about 10, 12 quid to send this back. And just under a tenner was this figure. And she did arrive with a leg. A leg arrived with this figure. And I absolutely love it. I think it's... If Tarn was the best figure I picked up this year, then this was the one I've transformed the most and had loads of fun with. The posability on it is stunning, and if you don't own one, you can still get them now for about between £10 and £15. It is m.a.s.k Fans Toys Ultra Magnus. I think it was again a knockoff of, I want to say DX9, but I don't think it was. But it's definitely a knockoff anyway. But this guy is oversized. He is about the size of a deluxe. It's just beautiful. Just so much fun. Great tight joints. Can hold a pose. I mean, look at that. It's posing like that gives borders dues nosebleeds, man. It's brilliant. Such a good figure. So if you haven't got one, out of all the figures on this list now, Tarn is £109, I think he is on Kapow. And he's a great figure. Really is a great figure. But if you've got a couple of quid in your bank account and just want to get something fun that you'll play with for hours and hours, go and pick up this guy. He's amazing. So that's it. From a third-party point of view, Tarn was the winner. From a Transformers official point of view, the last night Megatron was the winner. Thunderhawk from m.a.s.k was my best non-Transformers toy I picked up this year. And finally, m.a.s.k Fans Toys Ultra Magnus won the KO award. So, I hope that's wrapped up 2017 nicely. I look forward to sharing some more reviews and some more debate videos and all that kind of stuff. Thank you to everyone who subscribed recently. I'm now up to 205 subscribers, which is brilliant. In the space of 12 months, less than 12 months, my subscriber count has doubled, so that's great. And yeah, just thank you. Have a really happy new year, everyone. I wish you all the best in the future, and good luck. And I'll speak to you again soon.